Hello, good morning, and thanks for joining us again on Good Morning Cross River on a Thursday morning. My name is Erim Ega. So nice to be with you again, bright and early.
It's a beautiful Thursday morning. My name is Afinia. Welcome to the GMCR show. I do hope you have woken up hale and hearty.
Yes, waking up hale and hearty, that means you are in good health, and you need to praise God at all times, give God thanks for letting you or letting us see the dawn of a new day. Today we're going health.
Yes, as usual on the GMCR show, we go health on Thursdays. Now we get to showcase all the happenings in the health sector in Cross River State, as well as giving you tips on how to live healthy.
All right, there's no way you can withdraw health from living itself. So we're talking about life here today. Everybody wants to live almost forever if it's possible, but you need to lead a better lifestyle, which is why on a Thursday like this we try to say that you need to be healthy, you need to be wise, you need to be wealthy.
And if you're not in good health, there's no way you're going to enjoy all the material acquisitions. Well, it's the GMCR show, and did you know that today is World Toilet Day?
Yeah, very well. It's whatever it would sound like, but it's World Toilet Day. The reality on ground, it's a day set aside the world over to draw attention to the fact that open defecation is not good for our health.
Well, there'll be a feature on World Toilet Day during this program. And
just talking about the World Toilet Day, a lot of diseases, a lot of...
Yes, because the very next thing here that we're going to showcase. We begin
to wonder why most landlords just put up a building, and it's the reality, no toilet facilities. And the toilet facilities that are available in some homes, how many people use it? How clean are they? Because we are told that a lot of infections could come from there. Unhygienic toilets can lead to bad health, and the life we're looking for might not be there.
And apart from the public facilities and even the residentials, when you look at the markets, one wonders, with all the people that are in the markets, do we have good toilet facilities for people that have to spend virtually the whole day, in that environment?
A lot of it's a talking point actually, and so there's a segment on that will roll for some time to actually draw attention to the fact that we need to have good toilet facilities to enhance good living.
Well, today also on the show we'll bring you more on sexually transmitted diseases. We had a team last week on the show, and they couldn't just exhaust it. There's so much to talk about when we're talking about sexually transmitted diseases.
Okay, very well. We shall also be having a live chat with Mr. Roland Patrick. It's not everybody that could be fit too. Maybe don't forget the 12-kilometer walk of the Carnival Road. You need to be fit, you need to be healthy to be part of the Carnival. So we'll be talking.
Roland is actually a fitness expert.
Yes, so he will
apart from the members of the team, the various Carnival bands that have to take the kilometer walk. Now, there are other activities that go on, very hectic ones at that, before the actual day. So everyone has got to be fit.
Even the dance itself, it's breathtaking. So you need to be healthy. You need to be very, very fit to be a partaker of the good things in Crossriver in terms of Carnival. So Roland will be here to throw more light on fitness exercises.
Well, the atmosphere is rife with excitement. Everyone in Cross River State and anyone that intends to spend the Xmas holidays in Cross River State is excited, and there's so many things that come to play when we're talking about the Christmas festivities. Well, Roland will be here on the fitness angle, and then we also have a team, and this team is responsible for the building and the management of the Xmas Village. They were here 2 weeks ago, but they'll be here again to give us updates on the situation on ground right now.
Talking about the situation on ground. If you drove, anytime you drive along Merisleso Avenue, Botanical Garden is wearing a new look. I can see some shops coming up, but there has to be a good management on ground, which is why the do and don'ts, how to behave and what to do and how to acquire the shops there is quite necessary, which is why the team again will be on our set to throw more light and enlighten us on how to be good partakers of the Christmas.
Yes, and there's no discrimination really. Anyone that is interested in acquiring a store, it's open to you. So when the team comes this morning, you can get details on how you can acquire a store for this Xmas festivities.
Okay, don't forget, we're still talking health right here. That's our theme for Thursday morning. And longevity takeaways. You need to go fruity, drink a lot of water. Today we'll be looking at cabbage and also look at plantain, the benefits of all of that. There will be also sport, all in the course of our presentation this Thursday morning, a day before weekend.
Well, thank you for tuning in to the GMCR show Thursday Live. I'm sure you're going to have an exciting time with us this morning. My name is Afinia.
The technical assistant team of the Water Supply and Sanitation Sector Reform Program to have put this program together in collaboration with the Crossroads State Government. And we are going to have a discussion around the World Toilet Day, which is coming up on the 19th of November. And to have this robust discussion, we have moderators and we have panelists. So with me to moderate this event is Pastor Johnson Eteng, who is a staff of the WSSSRP. And myself, I'm Chief Edwin Usan. I work for the Civil Society Network on Water and Sanitation. And then from the panelists, we have the Department of International Development Cooperation here represented. So Christopher Teku,
Assistant Director of PRS.
Thank you very much. Then from the Rural Water and Sanitation Agency, we have Engineer Dr. Iba.
Messi Edmayam. You're welcome.
And then our host, we have consultants and institutional policy experts. Mr. Matthew Jolly.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Proper bearing. We're going to give the background of this discussion, and then we will ask the panelists to inform us, educate the public about what they have been doing in the field. The World Toilet Day is a day that has been declared by the United Nations to be celebrated once every year, precisely on the 19th of November. The World Toilet Day actually started way back in 2001 when an international organization called World Toilet Organization started to take the issue of access to toilet very seriously. And by 2013, the United Nations was able to actually declare this day as a United Nations Day for toilets. And this was when the UN General Assembly had its 7th session in July 2013. So ever since then, we've been having events on a yearly basis. And in 2015, of course, the theme of the World Toilet Day is sanitation and nutrition. But for our own purpose in Crossroads State, we have rechristened it better sanitation for better nutrition. To enable you and I to take action, and then to be able to see that those who have no access to toilet are able to really have access to toilet. Because globally we are told that 1 in every 3 human beings in the world have no access to toilets. In essence, we are saying that about 2.4 billion people all over the world have no access to toilets. And I'm sure in cross-border states, there's been a lot of effort towards ensuring that this gap is filled. So having said this, I will now invite Pastor Johnson Eteng, who has been working from the aspect of the EU-funded program, to give us a background on the program aspect.
Thank you very much. One more time, we welcome all the panelists. Yeah, it's interesting to have 19th of November every year to be World Toilet Day. As we know, toilets and sanitation is a very crucial aspect of human life. And so it's a mainstream of the program, water supply sanitation sector reform program, which is currently in the phase 2. From the background of the program, actually the program is providing support to the state to have the empowerment to run water sanitation and hygiene services for the citizens of Cross River State. And as of today, being a funded program, the support is only limited to 2 local government areas. And within those 2 local government areas, the focus of the program is for the small town in Yako, 11 beneficiary small towns, and then in Boki, 9 beneficiary small towns. However, there is the rural component which is anchored by UNICEF, and it's also strongly anchored by, run by RUATSA, the State Agency for Rural Sanitation and Water Supply. So where we are at the moment is providing the required support for the state to sit up, especially people from the local government, to have the enablement, to understand that sanitation is a mainstream of day-to-day life. Studies have been done, and it's obvious that there is serious gap in this direction. Not many persons in the communities before now understand that when you provide housing accommodation for yourself, you also provide toilet facilities. So, but however, because of the program that is providing education and promoting these same practices, there is people are beginning to cope up. There are several methods that have been used. In the rural, we adopt a CLTS approach.
RUATSA has been intervening in all the 18 AGS in the states. But then for the present cycle, we are currently looking at Yako and LGS. And basically, we are making use of CLTS as an approach towards making sure that every household owns and utilizes a sanitary latrines in such a way that feces will not be exposed in the open. In that process, flies will not have access to shit any longer, and so that problem of flies carrying shits into human food will be eliminated. That is what we are now doing. Apart from that, also the Global Sanitation Fund is presently being applied in the 3 LGS of Abi, Bekwara, and Obaligu. As of last weekend, 46 communities in Buki have been cleared and declared as open defecation free, and they were issued with certificates.
We as the policymakers, we stand a chance of making sure that there is thorough sanitation in the state. And I must say that the state is very much committed into providing sanitation facilities, even beyond the small towns, urban, and the rural. We have already had documented somewhere that in sub-Saharan Africa, about 25% of the population practice open defecation. And we in Cross River State we want to gear up with the attitude of making sure that there's thorough sanitation in the state. And by so doing, we want to key into programs that are making it possible that there is no open defecation anymore. We have had at the state level the CLTS, which is Community-Led Total Sanitation, carried out by programs, and the Ministry of Water Resources, which is also housing the Water Supply Sanitation Sector Reform Program, has already been in tune with their programs of making sure that there is open defecation free in the communities, in the urban, the small towns, and also the rural communities. And where the small towns are limited to Boki local government and Yako local government. The rural, which has actually gone beyond this, are also intervening in other communities. But the onus lies on the state to make sure we now replicate all what is done in this local government into all areas, so that we give it a widespread, so that the entire state will eventually be open defecation free.
Assistance, as you have said, and of course we equally ensure that the state government is on part as far as the women assistance is concerned, and by paying its own counterpart funding. And of course we ensure that we negotiate for new partners and equally monitor activities of whatever they are doing in the state. We don't implement anyway, but we ensure that whatever is coming in is in line with the state development agenda, and so that the state will move forward with respect to not only sanitation but all over the development aspect. For water and sanitation, I think it is UNICEF and of course EU programs that are moving funding water and sanitation issues. I'm sure the WSSROP been funded by UNICEF and EU, which we know the department through their returns. And EU programs equally fund other things like education, but we ensure that whatever education they are providing, be it in terms of buildings, you have sanitation facilities, particularly water and toilet. Even the health centers they are providing through their MPP 6, MPP 9, to ensure that they have water and sanitation. And the only problem we have with most of their problems is that they provide these facilities, but the waters are not reticulated to the toilet facilities, an issue which we have raised with them, and I'm sure they are going to make amends to that respect. And the other programs that may come in, Global Fund is equally going into sanitation issues, which we are aware through the returns, water resources, and WSSROP have been sending to us. And we ensure that we will make sure we continue negotiating with other partners so that they will come into the water and sanitation sectors. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Sorry, George, before I leave you, just let's stay on a little bit with you. One of your major tasks is to coordinate donor funding activities, and that is very important. But you cannot do that without having policies or legislation on the ground. And so I'm aware that under WSSROP 1, the program supported the government to produce a water policy. I don't know what effort your department has actually put up to ensure that we also have, sanitation policy, and not just a policy, to even have a legislation for water, sanitation, and hygiene, the three integrated issues.
Yes, as I've said, we coordinate most of the activities of almost all the agencies. We don't implement. And as far as policies are concerned, we equally looking at a situation where the agencies concerned will bring up a policy and we will look for an agency to fund the development of such a policy. We have done it. The social development policy started with the IDC. The policy on sector-wide approach, which is, I think, being experimented, particularly in the water sector. We started in the department, and we are sure with time we will equally start with the sanitation policy.
We know that those who will suffer most if we don't have good sanitation are the women and children. So what is your ministry doing to ensure that women don't suffer unduly and children don't suffer unduly?
Our major mandate or major activities is advocacy and sensitization. And so the issue of sanitation, given that women and children are more vulnerable to these issues, whenever we have opportunity or we have outreach programs, we consciously bring up issues of sanitation and nutrition. For example, in August we were in Akampa local government, Uyama specifically, for an outreach program. We needed to do HIV screening, and it was difficult for us to even get specimen. And in the States, we appreciate the fact that if you go to the rural areas, that's where you are supposed to have natural products, especially vegetables, in particular. But we were surprised that it was difficult to get specimen for test. And so our main focus we now focused on educating the women on not only cultivating for sale, but cultivating for consumption. Even when you give out these mosquito nets, instead of using them wisely, we found them practically on the gardens. And so our major role is to sensitize, educate them whenever we have opportunity. Even when we call them to the local, to the headquarters. In fact, in practically all outreach programs or meetings, our emphasis is on hygiene and nutrition. This is what we have always done.
I think we are talking about especially those who carry out these activities at the rural areas. They can't do that without linking up with either the local government councils or the Ministry of Local Government Affairs. But then the ministry is the policy decision-making body. So, sir, can you tell us what your ministry have been doing with respect to ensuring that the local government area councils keep in effectively to sanitation and nutrition, because we are talking about sanitation and nutrition under the World Toilet Day for 2050.
Specifically, Ministry of Local Government, we are solely in charge of supervising activities of the council, the projects and the policies to ensure that those activities are carried out according to specification. In respect to WSSS RP2, right from the inception, like when we were supervising WSSRP1, we make sure that those projects are delivered according to specification. And in most cases, since we are dealing with councils and the rural areas in particular, we make sure that those activities are delivered. We monitor all the specifications. We monitor all the activities of those NGOs that were called upon to carry out activities. So in Ministry of Local Government, as a supervising ministry to Local Government Council, we are monitoring the activities. And in respect to this toilet and hygiene, we are solely in charge.
And in this aspect, Engineer Alfred here, who is our lead in procurement, working with the EU, just came back from Abuja, where we're working with the EU after the state paid their counterpart fund, to the project. He came back, and one of the updates we got was that the EU is going to be providing some support into the sanitation component of the project, which is very important, and I'm sure after I'm done, Alfred can throw a little bit more light on that, because that is going to touch on the aspect of the.
As you're all aware, the technical assistance team of the Water Supply and Sanitation Sector Reform Program to have put this program together in collaboration with the Cross River State Government. And we are going to have a discussion around the World Toilet Day, which is coming up on the 19th of November. And to have this robust discussion, we have moderators and we have panelists. So with me to moderate this event is Pastor Johnson Eteng, who is a staff of the WSSSROP. And myself, I'm Chief Edwin Usan. I work for the Civil Society Network on Water and Sanitation. And then from the panelists, we have the Department of International Development Cooperation here represented.
Water and sanitation.
Where EU programs are implemented, usually particularly on water, sanitation always come in. And just as it was mentioned that the strategy being adopted, particularly for the rural and the small town communities, is total ownership of toilets by households and communities. So, but if that happens, you see that there will be a gap on institutions like the public areas, like hospitals, schools, and the markets. So because of that, in as much as EU advocates for ownership of toilets for individuals, they also are trying to support the construction of sanitation facilities in public places. And so because of that, in all the 20 small towns we are intervening in the 2 LGAs, sanitation facilities will be built in at least 2 of the public places, which means for individuals, for households, they have to provide their toilets, but for public places, EU will provide, and then there will be a strategy on how to manage the facility that is provided. And because of that, you see, sanitation facilities and ownership of toilets in the small towns, in urban and in rural communities is key. And now the approach has to be participatory, because the advocacy is total ownership. If in a community 1 or 2 persons owns toilet and others do not own, it means the whole community doesn't own, because there is no way you can isolate flies that move from one household to the other. So it means if I have a toilet and my neighbor doesn't have, I am not safe, because I am not able to prevent the flies that visits him or his compound to marry. So you see that if the entire community does not have toilet complete for all the households, then the community is not safe. But the idea basically is to ensure that all people in the community have toilets, and in public places they are also covered.
Thank you very much for coordinating us, and I've enjoyed this session. I'm happy that we have an opportunity for different sector stakeholders to come together to talk about a very important thing like sanitation. And I'm happy to see that from different ministries that have been represented here, no one is idle, But I think the key message that for us as a sector is how do we coordinate our effort, and that is very, very important. Our people say that if you have a broom, that with the different strands together, it's easier to sweep than if you take one strand and try to sweep with it. At the same time, I also want to encourage the government through the Ministry of Water Resources. I know you are doing some things and we are working with you, but I think we know that more can still be done. And what I mean is that, without a good policy environment, it's going to be difficult for all what we are saying to work. Even the CLTS we are promoting at the local government still requires good environment, policy environment. So we are calling on the government to consciously, put this behind their mind as they, prepare their budgets, as they, prepare for the year, and it's not just from the executive side, but even within, the House. I would expect that, the House should be able to challenge a budget that comes and say, where is sanitation, in this budget. I'm looking for a day when we will get to that point, where maybe the Committee on Utility will say, your budget does not have sanitation. And then, it will make people realize, because sanitation, like my colleague engineer Alfred said, they fly from one person's house, does not know the other person. It doesn't know boundary. So it doesn't mean a fly cannot move from a poor man's house to a rich man's house. It can move anywhere. So I just want to encourage that even though much is being done within the state, I still think we need to put our hands on the deck and work collaboratively, because this is a battle that has to be fought by everyone that is involved. So I want to thank you for this opportunity, and I know that the ministry is doing a lot with the swap, with the water bill, which is there. With all those things come together, I am sure that we are going to move forward. But I want to assure you that as a WSSRP to the EU-funded project, we are here to work with the government, and so far we are satisfied with the way the government has been supporting us, especially with the government paying the counterpart funding. That means we can move ahead, and actually things have started moving, and that's where Engineer Alfred was talking about the issue of EU supporting public sanitation facilities, toilets particularly in public places. There to talk about sanitation and to try to bring out what their challenges are, and the ministry will be there, to kind of make inputs to that. So thank you very much. Again, don't forget, better sanitation for better nutrition, and I believe that as we adhere to that, we will all be healthy. Stay healthy.
Ancient healers declared that cabbage contains moon power because it grew in the moonlight. Modern nutritionists understand its power comes from its high sulfur and vitamin C. Cabbage is a brain food. It is full of vitamin K and anthocyanins that helps with mental functions and concentration. These nutrients also prevent nerve damage, improving your defense against Alzheimer's disease and dementia. Red cabbage has the highest amount of these power nutrients. The natural red pigment of red cabbage, betalains, is said to lower blood sugar levels and boost insulin production. Cabbage has no white sugars and very few simple sugars. Betalains have powerful anti-inflammatory properties just like beets. Cabbage helps in detoxifying the body. The high content of vitamin C and sulfur in cabbage removes toxins and helps free radicals and uric acid. These are the main causes of arthritis, skin disease, rheumatism, and gout. High in sulfur. Cabbage helps dry up oily and acine skin. Naturally, sulfur is essential for keratin, a protein substance necessary for healthy hair, nails, and skin. Cabbage stimulates enzyme activity and reduced the growth of cancer tumors. A study on women showed a reduction in breast cancer when cabbage were added to their daily meal. Cabbage helps keep the bones and the body healthy. It is a good source of vitamin C and vitamin K. Vitamin C helps the body develop resistance against infectious agents. Vitamin K helps keep the bone stronger, healthier, and delay osteoporosis. Cabbage has excellent skin healing properties when used as a poultice. It is effective in curing skin eruptions such as eczema, psoriasis, acne, rashes, insect bites, leg ulcers, and wounds. Cabbage is rich in essential vitamins such as vitamin B5, vitamin B6 and vitamin B1. These vitamins are essential in the sense that our body requires them from external source to replenish. Cabbage contains adequate amounts of minerals. It contains minerals like potassium, manganese and iron. Potassium is an important component of the cell and body fluid that helps in controlling the heart and blood pressure. Manganese is used by the body as a cofactor for the antioxidant enzyme. Iron is required for the red blood cell formation.
It's still the GMCR show, Thursday Live, and I have with me in the studio a team from Tactic Construction Company Limited, and this company is actually responsible for the construction and the management of the 2015 Christmas village. And the village this year will be at the Botanical Garden, Mary Slessor Avenue. It's a pleasure to have with me my immediate left, I have Ota Ude, and he is responsible for supervision.
Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for coming.
Good morning, ma'am.
And to my extreme left, I have Egbe Obo Imoke, and
you.
he's in charge of information. Okay, you were here about 2 weeks ago,
Yes.
and we'd like to ask how far you have gone with the construction.
Yeah, thank you very much, ma'am. My name is Ota Ude, and I'm the Supervisor General for Tactic Construction Company. We want to bless God for the construction so far. We started on the 4th of November 2015 with the information booth, and by the grace of God so far we've gotten up to 60% completion. Right now we are on the electrical aspect now. The shops are being wired now by our electrical team, and by the grace of God before next week we should be done with the construction.
Okay, thank you. And when you say 60%, well, we don't know what 100% actually represents, so that's talking about how many stores so far.
Okay, on ground now we have 128 stores, that is the detached stores, while the main showroom we have 10 stores, and the mini showroom we have about 28 stores.
Wow, that's a lot of work. Okay, I'd like to go to our information, what would I call information minister? Okay, what has been the response so far?
Okay, between the period we started and up to yesterday evening, the response has been, I'll use awesome. The turn up has been very massive, like it keeps increasing daily. As at yesterday, I think we got a total of 65 people just for food and drinks.
Oh, just yesterday?
Yesterday.
Wow.
We got for 65 people for food and drinks. We had calls from Uyo, from Lagos. I had a call from Ghana that were interested in coming down to showcase their products too. Then we are hoping by next week we should round up sales of forms for the stands.
Okay, so if people are actually coming from Ghana, then we have to sit up. You know, we're not going to wait until it's last minute. What happens if you suddenly get overwhelmed by demand for more stores? Is there room for more to be built, or this is just all we're going to have?
Though we do face such challenges when it comes to construction, and I believe any man who fails to plan will finally lose its own worth. So I believe we also have that in the back of our mind, that maybe before the 27th of November, many persons might still come out with that rush. In construction, you have such peak periods where you see people rushing in, and I believe we are still capable.
Because some people always like to wait until it's the last minute.
Yeah, it wouldn't take our carpenters even 45 minutes to build a stand. So I believe in a day we can even pull out 100 stands as long as we have materials on ground. We've been doing it and we can still do it.
Okay. Do we have restrictions as to the kind of things that we can showcase or we can sell within the Expanse Village? Are there any restrictions? As per the kind of products or something? Or is it just free for all? I mean, you could just bring anything you want to sell.
Yeah, we do have restrictions. Like, there are some products that really causes commotions, like issues, especially for other years. We've noticed the game arcade, where you have the pool and the table tennis. There where the boys come in to do their the sorting, to play gambling games and the rest. So we'll try as much as possible to minimize it. We might decide that this year we just have like 2 boards on the ground where we'll have security measures on it to reduce the way these issues will arise. Then also for the vendors, like I said the other time, they're not allowed to come with their generator sets because there will be a general power system for everybody. Then also a sound system. We have made plans for one sound system that will power all shops.
Because sometimes it can actually be very frustrating. You don't even know what to listen to. Yeah. This one is blaring his own type of music, the other one is blaring his own and all that. Okay, so let's talk about security measures now. That's very vital.
Yeah.
You know, because people don't want to come in there, you know, they have their wares in the store and then they come back the next day, something has gone wrong. What measures have you taken?
Well, that's a very vital question there, because that has always been the fear of the masses in terms of security. One thing I want to assure the masses outside there is that we know our governor is somebody who is security conscious. He's very, very good at that. And he has assured us, he has given us his 100% assurance that there will be massive security over there. And by the grace of God, I don't think those challenges we've been facing other years will repeat itself. And again, if you check the environment is very serene. And in the botanical garden there we have 3 gates, one behind, but that gate will be mainly for the CUDA, where they could come
in and clean up.
Yes, clean up. Then the other gate along Mary Slessor, and there's another one along Target Road. So what we are going to do is that at a particular time, maybe in the night, we'll have to shut one gate. And though we've not really decided on which gate we are going to shut, because we are still in that process, we'll shut one gate and allow one gate open. It will be easier for you to manage people, influx of people coming in one gate than managing 2 gates. So it will be very easy for us to checkmate most of these hoodlums coming in.
And to add up to security measures, as I speak to you, we have SSS on ground. We had contacted them last week, and every day they keep coming in to check. Then we'll do the community security too. And also the back.
What do you mean community security?
Community security is where we look for the leaders of the community around, because we heard the gutter part is being used as their hideout. So we look for the leaders around Target, Mary Slessor, or try to talk to them that this is what is happening. We try to introduce the event to them and tell them what they stand to benefit, and try for them to talk to their boys around that this part is a no-go area. Because even I think the last time the deputy governor came, and he had already agreed that the other back part where the fence is beside the gutter is going to be a shooter side. So we'll have policemen that will just be there for that part alone. So anybody that tries climbing up using the other way will be dropped down. So that is what that's what we've done so far.
Okay, now we're talking about security within the garden.
Yeah.
What about the cars that will be parked? Because I'm sure that will not contain everybody.
We also have our own securities too. We'll have them for traffic. There are some that will stay at the parking lots, and there are some that will also be inside working day and night, 24 hours.
Okay, thank you so much. So can we get the information for, okay, I have it right here. Interested members of the public who want shop allocations for 2015, Calabar Xmas Village should pay a non-refundable fee of 5,000 Naira only to this account, Tactic Construction Company Limited, account number 101-414-1468, and this is at Zenith Bank. All tellers should be brought to the office at the Botanical Garden for collection of application forms. Now, if I was too fast or you didn't get all the information, all you need to do is call this number 080-3344-2932. I'll take that again, 0803-344-2932. Yet again, if you didn't get that number, you could always drive straight to the Botanical Gardens on Mary Slessor Avenue. There's an information office there. You could get all the information that you require. Well, it's I don't know, do you have anything else to add before we round up this segment?
No, nothing else.
Okay, let me add something. I still want to crave the indulgence of the masses out there that they shouldn't have any fear. They should come and do business. I believe they're going to make their money.
Oh yes, and I mean, if people are coming all the way from Ghana, they don't have fears, then we shouldn't have fears. Yeah. It was such a pleasure having you.
Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
Well, that was a team from the Tactic Construction Company Limited, and they're here to intimate us on progress of work at the 2015 Christmas Village. The GMCR show isn't over yet. Thank you for staying with us. This is the GMCR show Thursday live, and it's a pleasure to have with me in the studio a fitness expert, and that's talking about Roland Patrick. Roland, this isn't your first time in our studios.
Definitely.
Thank you for coming once again.
Thank you.
Okay. Wow, we've had you on Talks on Fitness generally, yep. And today we want to talk about preparations for the Carnival Calabar.
Okay.
Celebrations. Now we know that there's a lot of energetic work that goes into it. You know, before, during, and even after, a lot of people are stressed out. Definitely. And our focus generally would be on the teams. Okay, we have all the various bands, and we know that they all, you know, engage in the stretch of the carnival route. But before then, let's just take a general look on fitness. What do you mean when you say someone is fit?
Well, fitness basically begins with the health of major and active organs within the body. You know, because most people mistaken fitness for being slim. You could be slim on the outside and still be a disaster on the inside. So the capacity of your heart, basically, that's the first organ to look at, and your lungs. Heart, in this sense, that to work better, pump more blood. The efficiency of your heart would determine how fit you are on the outside, you know, in terms of your energy, your stamina, and the rest. So it's beyond looking muscular or looking trim.
Because I'm seeing some muscles jutting out here.
Yes, that's as a result of working on the muscles, so they become bigger with time.
Okay, so what does one actually do, you know, to keep fit?
The three things you must do to keep fit is, one, watch what enters your mouth. You know, in terms of food, you have to be careful what you eat. Enjoy everything, but not too much of everything, especially in this part of the world where we have a lot of starchy food and oily food. You know, it will be nice and it will be common sense for you to increase, for example, your protein intake and reduce the amount of starchy and oily food that you take, because the protein helps in tissue build up. It makes up your skin, the muscles, and other large parts of your body. And muscles are used for movement. So if you stuff yourself up with a lot of oil and starch, you'll be big on the outside, you'll be fat, and your muscles become weak with time. You know, so basically watch what you eat, you know, drink a lot of water, enjoy your water, and then exercise. Exercise doesn't necessarily mean you must lift weights or run 2 miles. You know, it could be something as little as dancing for 20 minutes. It could be going for a road walk for 30 minutes, but let it be regular. Anything that keeps your heart working, and task it, push it a bit every day. You know, basically that is what you need.
Okay, so that's pushing the heart beyond the normal everyday activity.
Yes.
Okay. Now, we're all getting excited and preparing for the biggest street carnival in Africa.
That's true.
And we need to get prepared. So today you want to tell us about the way in which we need to keep fit and get ready for the carnival.
Well, I want to say to everyone out there who wants to be fit before the carnival, because the carnival is not just for those who are band members, you know, who are going to be walking all the way the 11-kilometer route. You know, for those who will be standing to watch, it takes strength and stamina to stand for hours and watch. You know, so to avoid unnecessary pain and discomfort, one of the major things you could do in preparing for that day is just go on a walk. Even if you've been jogging before, if you've gone on a break, maybe for 1 month or 2 months or more, it's good you start by walking. Walk some distance, then listen to your body. You know, when you are extremely exhausted, you pause. Then the next time you're walking out, you extend the time. You know, gradually you'll find out you'll be building stamina. You'll be building endurance. Your heart will be able to endure more over time. So basically just go for a walk. because now it's not a 100 meter race. It's a long walk, so your endurance and your stamina would be put to the test, and that's where your heart needs to be fit.
You know, it's actually surprising to hear that one can actually, get exhausted by just standing for hours.
Yes, you could get exhausted by just standing for hours.
But I think that our own crew too have to take advantage of this because the CRBC crew, that period is always a very stressy one because we have the teams that cover, all the activities during the festivities, and that means that as the bands, whatever stretch that they take, we also take it as well because we need to, keep the public abreast with what's going on the carnival route. Now, after the stretch, all the dancing and all the walking, a lot of people have pain, which is quite inevitable because it's not something that you do all the time. So what are the measures that one would take, to just get the body back in shape and get the muscles relaxed?
That's a good question because the general opinion, or let's say the general practice is people stuff themselves with painkillers after such. But painkillers just kind of mask the pain. They don't really take away the cause. Muscles contracting voluntarily when you stress them over time, especially when they're not used to that kind of stress. So you could have a lot of cramps, muscle pull, and the rest of it. What could be done there is stretch movements or exercises. Now, I try not to use exercise because someone might think you're trying to make me exercise after that long walk. No, stretch simply means that particular part where you're feeling the pain, most likely in your lower body because your legs have been walking all through. You have to take that particular part, bend it in such an angle as to relax the muscle. Then when the muscle is in a relaxed position, you could also apply pressure on the outside. Now that is where we talk about massage. So a lot of people who need a massage on that day. Massage is not for those who are about to faint or about passing out. It's a form of relaxation. I'm
sure that nobody will pass out.
It's a form of relaxation. It helps you. It calms your body and soul. It makes your mind relax. The feeling is always good. In fact, most times in the process of massaging people, they fall asleep. That's to show you how relaxing, the whole experience is. So basically, stretches. You need to do a lot of stretches, and then you need to do a lot of massage so that the pain does not take too long. And then you recover better and stronger.
Okay, I'm sure that you'll be on hand that day to actually help us.
I will.
It's been a pleasure having you on set. We'll need more of the practical, so maybe outside the studio we'll need to do a recording where you need to actually show us some of these stretch exercises.
Definitely.
Thank you so much. Well, the GMCR show isn't over yet. Do stay with us.
Plantain is a member of the banana family. In Africa, plantain provides more than 25% of the carbohydrate requirements for over 70 million people. The plantain plant does not stand high winds well, and plantain plantations are thereby liable to destructions by hurricanes. Plantains can be used for cooking at any stage of ripeness, and ripe plantain can be eaten raw. As the plantain ripens, it becomes sweeter, and its color changes from green to yellow to black. Green plantain is firm and starchy, but sweet. Extremely ripe plantains have softer, deep yellow pulp that is much sweeter than the earlier stages of ripeness. Plantain in the yellow to black stages can be used in sweet dishes, steamed and cooked. Plantain is considered a nutritious food for infants and the elderly. Plantain is a carbohydrate source. The low fat content of plantain coupled with its high starch content makes it a possible food for geriatric patients as long as it is not fried. Cooked green plantains have a low glycemic index. Plantain contains very little beta-carotene. The vitamin C content of plantain is very similar to those of sweet potato, cassava and Irish potato, but the concentration may vary with the crop, maturity at harvest, soil and farming conditions. Plantain can be used to prepare different dishes. Plantain could be boiled, fried, baked or grilled. Some of the dishes made from plantains include plantain chips. The plantain chips can be made by simply removing the skin, then sliced 1 to 2 mm thick and deep fried in hot oil to produce chips. Plantain can also be grilled and served with roasted fish, ground peanuts and a hot palm oil sauce. It is known as boli, and it is a very popular lunch snack in southern and western Nigerian states like Rivers State, Cross River State, Delta State, and Lagos State. Plantain can also be fried when ripe, and it is called dodo. The ripe plantain is usually sliced diagonally for a large oval shape, then fried in oil to a golden brown color. This can be eaten as such with stew or served with beans or rice. Fufu de platano is made by boiling the plantain in water and mashing with a fork. Plantains are also dried and ground into flour to make plantain flour. The attractiveness of plantain is that its fruit is all year round, making it a reliable all-season staple food.
Okay, very well. And that beautiful note, tips on plantain, uses health benefit, value addition, and all of that of plantain. And of course, cross-basket will grow a lot of plantain.
Well, Arim, for me, right here in the studio, I've learned how the Ejagan people call plantain.
Egome. Well, Egome is from Abakba here in Calabar up to the hills of Ogoja. Egome, and all of that. It's a very popular food.
Well, Arim, we've had a great time on the show this morning, but tomorrow we'll be right back on the GMCR.
All right, tomorrow we're going to come back. Tomorrow again we'll be looking at infrastructural development of Cross River State. We'll be taking a look at works on urban renewal.
So it's all over on the GMCR show. Put a smile on your face and have a pleasant day. My name is Afi Nia. Bye-bye.
All right, still talking about putting a smile on your face. Doctors would always tell you that when you laugh, laughter jumpstarts the immune system and makes you look younger. Continue to laugh and sustain it. My name is Erim Ega. I'll be with you tomorrow.